Yo, what's up, boys? Today we're doing a little bit of a backtesting session. We're going to be doing a week of data of a random set of dates between 2022 and 2025. And basically, I'm going to be trading exactly how I trade. So if you're ever wondering exactly how I enter, manage my positions, figure out my stop loss, take profit, what I target, anything, this is a perfect video to watch. Let's see. It's very raw. There's not really many edits on these videos, and I'm basically just going to explain thoroughly every single position that I'm going to be entering. So 2024, second week of month 5, so that is May. We're going to name this YT backtest. Starting balance 50k always. NQ and ES, because I would do M and Q, but like fuck that, it's backtesting. Okay, so what are we doing here? 2026, 2024, May, and the second week, so 1, 2. Do this week. Every time I do a backtesting session, I swear we get like packed with news. So I'm hoping that we don't this time because I just want like a true session of something realistic. We're not always gonna have news every single week. So here we go. Let's take a look. Obviously we're going for 100% win rate. Fuck you, mean. Let's check the news. And hey, nice. All we have is Friday 10 a.m. news. So there's zero news this week. Typically going into a week like this in today's market is something that could be good, could be bad. Usually bad because there's not a lot of volatility, but well, obviously when we're backtesting, we're a little bit more lenient on what we're looking for. And just by looking at the chart right now, you can see that we had a hefty retrace on the weekly time frame. Okay, we can target or we can mark out the swing low or range low and the range high, and we have a significant retracement. Click on the weekly time frame on ES, and same thing. We're not quite in discount of the current dealing range on ES, but that doesn't really matter. Discount is a little bit different. Oh no, we're definitely in discount. Right on. So what we're looking at is obviously we're currently didn't close above this weekly fair value gap, but we can clearly tell that we are going higher. Looking on the daily time frame, we're disrespecting daily bearish gaps and respecting bullish. We're inside of this daily bearish right now, but if we're leading to the current trend, we could obviously see that or if we're continuing with the current trend, we're probably going to disrespect this fair value gap. Looking on the daily time frame as well, you can see we have generated low resistance liquidity up here on the higher time frame leading up to our range high. We'd expect that to be our draw on liquidity for the week. I'm typically going to be bullish in these types of conditions. Looking on the 4-hour chart, we haven't made this 4-hour yet, but on the hourly, we have delivery from this hourly right now. The thing is about something like this is because, or something like this is a little bit, not really what I want to see, is because of the fact that we are at the top of our lower time frame kind of liquidity generation, and we're just inside of this massive imbalance. So obviously we can target, like, we use the imbalance as our target and just go for one-to-ones if there's no liquidity generated, kind of like all-time highs, but it's obviously not my favorite. This hourly gap, I'm just trying to see what I'd be looking for the day. Obviously, we have this unmitigated 4-hour below. Do I think price is going to open that much lower on a no news Monday? Probably not. What's this right here? This is not even London session low. Here's London session low right here. I typically don't really, like, I obviously like to target and use session highs and lows to my advantage, but it's not really like as important as fair value gaps, to be honest. If they're resting inside of high time frame PDAs or high time frame key levels, it's so much better. But I find like I'm more comfortable when price is reacting off of a fair value gap. So right now, looking on ES as well, where we didn't deliver out of this hourly. So this is what I want to see. Okay, coming into the morning, since ES doesn't have true manipulation right now with this hourly gap, I want to see us open lower and manipulate this level. Usually when we have SMTs with unmitigated gaps, it's invalid, and I would like NQ to do obviously the exact same, come down to resweep this level, or give an internal an SMT here with or NQ. That would be a valid SMT. If NQ comes down and maybe hits this swing, but we get an SMT at this level after ES manipulates into the hourly, that is a valid SMT. So that's what I could be looking for this morning. I'm gonna get my magnet back on, and we'll see how price opens up. Yeah. So I want to see us generate liquidity for this level. I do not want to see us take this. Where is? Here we go. Okay, perfect. Jesus. That is a volatile candle. Oh, it's actually not. It's only 20 points. Again, like I said, we don't have an S, or we have an SMT with a... Right now, ES has really no reason to distribute off of this level. There's not even a 5-minute. So, yeah, we swept this 15-minute intermediate low and then got huge displacement, but it's not what I want to see when we edge this level, especially when ES doesn't have reason to distribute on the higher time frame. Let's look on the 1 minute on ES. Okay, so it seems to me that we may not need to go back down to that level, the way ES is reacting. Great 15-minute rejection wick on both. We can maybe look for a con out of this 15-minute unmitigated at 10 a.m. Edge. Okay. So again though, ES has no reason to distribute off of this level. We're still resting right above this unmitigated 15-minute. This is what we call an invalid SMT. Even if we get a really strong inversion, I don't believe that price will go down to this level. Or I don't believe that price will deliver. We do have some nice low resistance liquidity leading up to our swing high. I would like to see ES come back down and manipulate. I don't like this trade at all. Again, ES is generating liquidity at these highs up here. Even though it took out these equal highs, again, it's one of those things where you have to, even though we're backtesting, like obviously we're a little bit more lenient and risk on, but it's just, that's not my model, right? I trade my model and only my model, so I don't want to fuck around and take shitty trades. So we have a bearish SMT at the highs now, getting a good reaction. And honestly, guys, this is not really a solid day, to be honest. I mean, at market open, we got manipulation higher, which was our swing high. Again, when we're in a massive imbalance, there's no liquidity to target externally. So what I would really like for us to do at market open here, like obviously, was to leave this high alone, to then come down and sweep this level, or giving us a SMT to then get our inversion higher, targeting these levels. But we didn't get that. Just kind of started pumping, was maybe looking for a caught long, didn't get true manipulation, and we just started accumulating on the lower time frame. If you look at the 5-minute chart, this is a literal barcode. Not something you want to be a part of. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the next day. Excuse me, nothing really crazy about that day. Okay, so again, we are just completely pumping up. Very, very bullish. Very, very bullish. We are currently delivering from this 4-hour bullish. Not in discount of the range, but again, doesn't really matter. ES is just absolutely pumping. They did mitigate or equal lows at the 4 hours. See this? Again, like something that steers me away from wanting to even long until we hit some sort of true manipulation. If you look on ES, we're not even making hourly gaps. We're not disrespecting anything. It looks like we're actually getting accumulation, manipulation higher to then go down, but obviously we're bullish as fuck. So what am I looking for at market open? Let's see. I want to see us manipulate this low. 100%. I want ES to take out these equal lows as well. Open lower. I just want to open low, high, close. Okay? That's all I want. That's all I'm looking for. I guess I'll go on the 1 hour. Or the 1 minute. How many points away are we? Let's see. 60 points is definitely something that price will move towards. Okay. So right now, what are we looking at? 945 generating highs, or generating liquidity at the highs to then manipulate lower. Even mitigation into this 15-minute could do well. It is sponsored on NQ. Unfortunately, on ES, it is unsponsored. But, okay. Got manipulation, but not true manipulation, unfortunately. with this unmitigated 30-minute. I want to see some type of stop hunt. Maybe if we get a 15-second inversion, like here, to then manipulate lower into that level. Okay. Again, I need to see true manipulation. There we go. That is what we want to see, okay? We manipulated. We have generated liquidity at the highs. Even though we have an SMT inside of that unmitigated 4-hour below, we're clearly, well, not clearly, we can see that we are delivering from discount of our current dealing range, which is inside of a 30-minute fair value gap. We could expect price now, with the low resistance generated at the highs, to deliver us higher. So let's see. Even though, like, yeah, we're respecting this 1-hour bearish here, or 1 minute bearish, it's not taking away the fact that we're extremely bullish. But again, we'll see how we react. There was no 30-second. That's completely okay. I'm fine with taking this 1 minute. Maybe we do want to come down to that level, which I wouldn't be mad at. You know, it makes my case a lot better. I'll turn on PO3. I can't even see. It's perfect. We got the manipulation at 10. So 10 a.m. manipulation and distribution. Our PO3 is lining up. Very nice. We actually do have a 2 minute. Do we have a 3 minute? Is that a tiny 3 minute? I'm not counting that. That's not a 3 minute. We'll take the 2 minute in this scenario, if we do get it presented to us. So, is that a closure? That is not a closure. Okay, that right there is our closure. So what are we looking at now? You have to ask yourself in this scenario to clarify if you're, or to confirm that you're comfortable with having your stop loss in this area. Because obviously, your take profit is extremely important, but if your stop loss isn't protected, you will most likely lose. That is the most important part. Obviously, it took us a while to, what's it called, close this IFVG. But in this case, let's look at our stop loss, okay? Let's look at our stop loss. So what do we have? We have manipulation inside of a 30-minute fair value gap, which is also in discount of our current dealing range. Okay, is that low resistance or high resistance? Ask yourself that. Okay, is my stop loss protected? Is it at low resistance or high resistance? In this case, it is protected because we swept a low inside of a 30-minute fair value gap. We swept a 30-minute intermediate term low, got our stop hunt not immediately after, but we eventually got our entry trigger to where we could expect price to deliver. Right now, is our take profit high resistance or low resistance? It is low resistance because we have generated liquidity at our highs, lining up with really nice PO3. We have generated low resistance liquidity. Like, this is exactly what you want to see. This is called stacked PO3. Okay, we have 930 opening. We have 930 opening higher. Okay, then we start to come back down. 945 opens up, generate liquidity at our high, making this an even more clear draw on liquidity. Then after we continue accumulating, and then when 10 a.m. hits, we get true manipulation in our high time frame PDA, getting a stop hunt and sweeping and turning this low protected, right? This is now a protected low if we are bullish. If we are bearish, then we will come down and sweep this level. What can we use as our break even in this scenario? Okay. Does this 3-minute fair value gap threaten my stop loss at all? Honestly, no, it does not. This does not scare me about my take profit, okay? Or this does not threaten my stop loss whatsoever. If this 3-minute bearish threatens my stop loss, then my trade idea was never correct. Why would I put myself through a very quick break even when I do not think that it will threaten my stop loss? Okay, you have to ask yourself that. I understand, you know, let's say you're early on into trading, you really want to go break even as soon as possible to take off some of the stress, but you're actually sacrificing a lot of wins by going break even way too early. So I will not be going break even here. I will be going break even at this level, even if I go break even, because this is a 1-to-1 trade, you know. So I'm going to see how we deliver off of this. I'm going to enter with 1 contract, stop loss at the swing, take profit at the high, just for a little 1-to-1 banger. We'll keep an eye on ES to see if we get any SMTs. The only reason I would go break even is if ES sweeps these levels before NQ and we show signs of remanipulation downwards or reversal. All right, let's see how this goes. We're just going to click play. I don't know. We'll just... Again, so we both swept this level inside of the 3-minute. We did get the 3-minute closure. Do I believe now that this is going to lead me to not win this trade? No, I don't. we just inverse this 5 minute. Started accumulating. We have a bullish SMT here. Little bit of an edge of a stop loss. That'll make you feel funny some days. And now, what has ES done? We have swept this level and got some distribution. In this case, honestly, if I was trading live, I probably would have went break even here. Okay, just because, you know, we got good displacement. We're at 1050. And we hit full take profit. Okay, that is exactly why going break even at a point in price that your stop loss doesn't seem to be threatened is ruining you. I would have went break even here, and then we hit full take profit. No SMTs. We didn't sweep this on any asset. This is our protected low. Our low is not going to get touched here if we are bullish. And as you can see, we have a little rejection block area that price respected CE of the range. So let me draw the line. Or where the fuck do I even do it? Here it is, settings. Middle line. What are we doing? Even on the lower time frame, we're not going past CE of this rejection block. Okay. Was it a little bit weird seeing price not delivering instantly? Maybe. But that is exactly how you determine your break even. So that is the trade of the day. Okay. So there's our first trade of the session. Not bad. Very good trade in my opinion. That is an A+ trade. I will be taking that 10 out of 10 times. Okay, moving on. Okay, looking at our daily time frame, what do we see? Okay, we have a good rejection wick off of our level after inversing this daily fair value gap. What are we doing on the weekly? Solid rejection wick, same story obviously. I'm still bullish. This does not lead me away from being bear or being bullish. Obviously we're disrespecting high time frame bullish PDAs currently, but I would need a little bit more confirmation that we will be bearish. You know, we're not delivering off of any bearish PDAs other than this one, and off this current manipulation lag, it just kind of looks like people panic selling. Could just be due for a little bit of a retracement. Sometimes price will do that after inversing a fair value gap. You'll see sometimes, even a lot of it on 5-minute IFVGs. We'll inverse a 5-minute IFVG, then instantly reverse. So that could be price did what it wanted to do. Price fulfilled its, I don't know, completed its objective, and is now pursuing something else. But I will need more confirmation that we will be bearish. I want to see us respect or disrespect a type of PDA in discount of the current dealing range. So let's see how we react off of this level and these levels. I'm pretty neutral right now looking at price. Okay, let's mark out this 1 hour intermediate low. Let's mark out, which is also an unmitigated 4 hour, by the way. We're still inside of these 4 hours as well, so we haven't actually done any damage on the highest time frame. So I could potentially see us touching this 4 hour gap and then leaving it alone, potentially closing at this area, showing signs that, yeah, we disrespected this one, but we're respecting the more discounted gaps. So let's see how price opens up. Look at this. Okay, accumulation. Let's get our high time frame manipulation. So I'm kind of clicking pretty fast, but what are we seeing now? Damn. That we are kind of looking a little bit more bullish now, aren't we? This is why you can't just look at candles and say, oh, we're bearish. No. You have to really, really use conditions to your favor and play out scenarios in your head. Now we're completely respecting this daily bullish fair value gap. You can now be comfortable with looking for a call long to target this low resistance liquidity. Even though it's inside of a 1 hour bearish, I'm still considering it low resistance. Is it a little bit lower probability because of these wicks? Yes, but that's why we backtest, fellas. Okay. What am I looking for now at 10 a.m.? What would you be looking for right now at 10 a.m.? obviously you would be looking for some type of manipulation down for a continuation long. Yeah, we left this 4 hour unmitigated alone, but this 4 hour unmitigated doesn't matter if we're already delivering from these two previous ones. So the only reason that was a little bit important is because it was the closest key level on the sell side, so I wanted to see how price would react off of it, but clearly we didn't need to. So we could expect price to manipulate lower into this 15-minute fair value gap, or accumulate on the lower time frame, generate low resistance liquidity before this 5-minute, and use this 5-minute, which is sponsored by the 4 hour. Obviously I would prefer if we come down and take the 15-minute, but I don't move the market, so look at all this low resistance generated on ES. Oh, this is a 4 hour chart. Never mind. I was gonna say, are we looking at the same fucking chart? We do have a bearish SMT and equal highs, so I'm okay. Okay, I want to ask you guys a question. We get manipulation of a 5-minute IFVG with an SMT with ES. And so ES manipulated into the 5-minute, which gave us an SMT with low resistance liquidity leading up to this level. So if I put, let's say I just target a 1-to-1. What do we think of this trade? Give you guys 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. If you said this is a shit trade, you're absolutely right. This is absolutely dog shit. The reason this is dog shit, yeah, the displacement's cool, the low resistance is fine. Cool. We don't have true manipulation whatsoever. We're literally delivering off of nothing on NQ. We left low resistance liquidity, which is this 5-minute fair value gap at your stop loss. Yes, there's an SMT. If it was, if this low was already inside, or let me think of something that makes a little bit more sense. Let's say, no, we can use this low as an example. Let's say we manipulated previously into this 5-minute, and then we got an SMT here. Okay, let's say we had an SMT here, where ES remanipulated this level, but we were inside of the 5-minute. That would be valid. This is absolutely invalid. You do not want to be taking this setup. It is low probability, and your stop loss is at low resistance, disguised as high resistance. So what can we expect price to do? Potentially deliver, but that is not something that you want to be taking. If you take this trade and you win, you are basically getting rewarded for bad habits. Not something you want to be doing. Okay, now it's 10:30. What would I be looking for? Obviously, I already told you, looking for a count long. Does it look like we're going to get it? No, it does not. Okay, we got manipulation into a 5-minute. Interesting. I want to see remanipulation of this level with a reaction to, or an SMT here. Maybe literally we'll get what I was just talking about. And we don't. So I'll just go fuck myself, honestly. Yeah, nothing great here. We're just pumping. What did we manipulate? Jesus. We manipulated this high. Remanipulated. Got this for a mech. Okay. You know what's funny? I actually like this trade. I'm kidding. This 2-minute could definitely work out though. Not going to bend my rules to take it because I'm obviously bullish right now. Short-term bearish, but now it's inside of a 5-minute anyways. But it would have hit. I would have been targeting the 5-minute for a 1-to-1. Not important, I'm not going to get into it. I'm just basically talking to myself. But anyways, this day was completely trash. The reason it was trash was we opened up and pumped. Nothing else. You cannot trade this. If you did trade this, you're a donkey in a donut, and you should quit because you're probably going to lose more times than you win. 0 true manipulation, 0 retracement, fuck a count long. That's that type of day. So, moving on to the next day. Oh. Okay. This just looks like shit, to be honest with you. Wicks everywhere. Still obviously bullish, but it's very wicky. We could just look for a fucking delivering from a 30-minute down here, This is London session low, which is not protected, or technically is protected. ES has generated relative equal highs, and so did 9. Yeah, let's just look for an open low high close here. Okay. We need true manipulation here for this to make sense. We need ES to manipulate this level. And Q is already inside of this 15-minute bullish. It's not enough for me. We are completely uncorrelated on the higher time frame, not delivering off of anything on ES, though I would really love to take a position like this if we get a good reaction, but it just probably won't happen until we get true manipulation just like we did. Oh, what day is it? No, we don't have news today. Holy shit. Might be going for the 30-minute intermediate term low. I did want to mention one thing. Low resistance is defending this London session, so it could be a good draw on liquidity. But it's just whether or not it made sense for price to go down all the way that far. Now we're kind of in a falling knife scenario. I'm going to need for price to generate a little bit of liquidity before taking any type of longs. Obviously we're going near this 30-minute, but currently it is protected. So I don't really want to see price manipulate this level, or it kind of proves that we're not bearish, or that we're not bullish, right? So this 15-minute intermediate low we could use, which is down here. So now we have a bullish SMT. This is what we call a valid SMT. Do you want to know why? It's because both assets have reason to distribute. Right now, this is a 15-minute and a 30-minute for value gap. So realistically, doesn't really matter if we disrespect the 15-minute if we flip and show signs of respecting the 30-minute. It's exactly what I want price to do right now. I don't want to see us hit this level whatsoever. So looking on the lower time frame on ES and NQ, ES is definitely giving a good reaction. Not really getting any type of inversion. Now we're inside of this 5-minute, so we may get fucked out of something here. And now we have ES taking all of our targets. Cool. There was nothing to take here. Nothing good, at least. There wasn't even a 15-second IFVG. And now we have a bullish SMT, or a bearish SMT with our highs. So our high is high resistance. But we can sometimes disregard that when we're clearly bullish on the higher time frame and we still have draws above. But ES actually made equal highs. And I've now taken everything. There's no way I'm taking a long. ES took all the targets. Cool. A short, on the other hand, could make a bit more sense. On the hourly. ES took everything except for this high. We swept a hourly intermediate high. This is low probability, honestly. This is shit. There's high resistance on both ends of the field. Mech shorts tend to work in these types of conditions. But it's really just if I want to take it or not, and I don't think I do. And the RR is shit. Okay. We have an internal and an external SMT. No need for true manipulation. We just got this 30-second IFVG. We are opening up this 1 minute. This 30-second is valid. This 30-second is valid. I will say. Do I feel like taking it? I don't know. For bearish, this 30-second is gonna stay. So internal, external SMT. Let's go over why I want to take this trade. Okay, so looking on the hourly time frame, let's look at our PO3. We are currently inside of this 15-minute bearish PO3, or 15-minute bearish for value gap, or 15-minute bearish BPR, and lower we have an unmitigated 5-minute. What we can look for in this scenario is, what do we need? What does price need to go into any direction? Price needs to hunt liquidity. Okay, in this scenario, price hunted buy side liquidity, right? Hunted buy side liquidity. We're going to use it to get a retracement, if we're bullish, even to this 5-minute for value gap at least, to then take us higher if we are going to be bullish. That's why mech models are so great, because you're targeting an area of price that could honestly leave your bias wrong on the higher time frame, but you're getting rewarded for it because you understand what price needs to do and where price needs to go to get where it needs to be. If that isn't confusing, it sounded kind of confusing, but basically we have an internal and external SMT inside of a 15-minute bearish PDA, high time frame bearish PDA. Technically our higher time frame is extremely bullish. We are delivering from this daily fair value gap, delivering from this 4-hour fair value gap, from these 4-hour fair value gaps. We have a 30-minute protected low here, which is proving that we are bullish, but as you can see, we also disrespected this 30-minute high time frame PDA, which we could use as our condition, even though there is a massive rejection wick, which is longer than the body. Honestly, I'm still bullish here, but I'm open to taking a mech short because we usually use these areas of price PDAs to take us higher. Obviously, we know that. You know what a mech model is. Okay, I'm trying hard to explain these thoroughly, but in all honesty, it's very easy to be simple here because this is a pretty simple trade. So I think I'm going to enter a position short here. I'm going to go stop loss at this SMT, take profit at the unmitigated 5-minute. Might just go for a 1-to-1 and hold it at the top SMT in case we do get remanipulation. It is inside of my rules because it is a positive RR trade. Typically we would have our stop loss at this level to minimize risk and maximize RR, but in this case it works if we use this one, and it's even more high resistance. So let's give it a go. And that is exactly it. Perfect mech model, internal, external SMT inside of a 15-minute bearish or value gap. Obviously my bias is bullish, but you know, you gotta really I'm not trying to be, I don't know, you just gotta know. And I'm trying to explain it in extremely simple terms for maybe beginners, but if you are an experienced or someone who's been trading for a long time, you understand exactly why I took this trade. ES took all of our buy side draws and liquidity for this morning. We have an SMT with our 930 high, which is inside of a high time frame bearish PDA, and it's just showing signs that we want to go lower and be bearish. So took a 30-second IFVG, which was valid, even though a 1 minute was opening up. Why would I wait for the 1-minute IFVG if we're not mitigating any other high time or higher time frame inversions? The 30-second close before or right when the 1 minute was forming. So no need to go break even here. I would have went break even here, but obviously it hit full TP instantly. So that is my trade of the day. Solid. Okay, moving on. Now we have Friday, our beautiful, beautiful Friday, which we have news finally. Hopefully we get something so I can show y'all what my mans can do, what I can do. Okay, obviously continuing to be bullish until proven wrong on the higher time frame. We are clearly disrespecting this area and respecting bullish. Well, actually we inverse that. Where are we on NQ? So now we're finally making our way higher. You could consider this a market maker buy model to this level, but it's also pretty. We seem to be following this trend up until this original consolidation. So again, continuing to be bullish until proven wrong. We disrespected this 1 hour bear or 1 hour bullish. Just really looking for price to open lower here so we can catch longs because we have low resistance liquidity at our highs. Look at all these generated highs. This is delicious. Are those equal highs? If this is equal highs, I'm gonna throw my fucking PC. It's not. It's a high that swept this high. This was generated liquid. Oh, come on, man. Look at this. Beautiful. Low time frame, low resistance. We did sweep this 5-minute intermediate high. Let's take it slower. I don't know. Let's see. Honestly, looking for an open low high close. That's what we're looking for here. We also have 10 AM use, so we can use that to our advantage to understand the price may be less volatile because we have red folder news. So what are we looking at? Cool. We took everything. Awesome. This honestly just looks super shit. Oops. So we inverse this massive 15-minute. We're accumulating on the lower time frame slightly. $10 AM opens lower. Interesting. We're inside of this 15-minute bullish now. We have generated liquidity. Highs. We're at 945 opened higher. This is still pretty low probability, to be honest. Do we have true manipulation? Yes, we do. This is a low that fully filled a fair value gap on the higher time frame and the lower time frames. Price doesn't need to come down and hit this level, to be honest. Why the fuck am I so zoomed in? Alright. This is not enough for me. So now we have an SMT. Where's the 15-minute closure? The end of the 15-minute for value gap is right here. In the next 2 minutes, if we close above this, we can assume price wants to be higher, and we do not. We inverse this 15-minute for value gap. We're inversing gaps left, right, and center. Typically not something I want to be risking heavy on. We still have this external SMT. We do get the full mitigation. Price generated perfect relative equal highs there. What are we looking like on ES? Okay, so ES is way ahead of NQ right now. Currently have a bearish, very high time frame SMT, which is a high inside of a higher time frame PVA. Sorry, I sound so fucking like to the high inside of a like my bad. Yeah, I don't know. Still pretty long here, to be honest, or pretty bullish here. But this just looks like falling knife activity, you know. We are making a pool of 5-minute unmitigated, but I would honestly want to use one of these as my condition. We just seem to be going lower with no kind of breaks. This definitely looks more bearish than bullish in the current moment. At discount of the current range, the current dealing range. On NQ, and ES is just nowhere near it. Not that that is extremely important, but just something to look at. We are correlated except for that part. This right here is a pattern trade. This 1 minute. Just so you guys know. The reason it is a pattern trade is because look at what we've done since 10. Nothing. There's a pool of unmitigated 5 minutes that we have not even touched, so you may think in your head, oh, I'll take a Mac model to the closest 5 minute. You're a retard, because there's no confirmation that price wants to go higher, and you just got stopped out in a fucking little ass candle. So I would need confirmation in this scenario, which seems to be what we are kind of doing. Generating liquidity. So I'm going to get a 50-minute. If we get remanipulation here. ES doesn't have, or NQ doesn't have a reason to distribute because there's no 5-minute. If there was a 5-minute on NQ, it would make a little bit more sense. But again, it's 10:53 now, and we are not presented with anything significant. And we do not get the closure, and it is now 11 o'clock. So our Friday was absolute dog shit. Price didn't really do shit other than pump up, take all the DLLs, or all the low time frame, low resistance, and then we just dumped with nothing to show for it. So we'll take a look at the analytics for this session. Didn't do that bad. 100% win rate. Took 2 trades, 2 A+ trades, honestly, very informative trades. Something that, you know, other beginners, or let's say you're a beginner, you probably wouldn't bat an eye to these setups. You may look at these and think, like, oh, why the fuck would you take this? So that's why I try to be a little bit more in-depth with this backtesting session. I understand most of the time I'm kind of just like, oh, this is what I'm taking, this is why, da-da-da-da, and then I move forward. So this time I tried to explain a little bit more just because of some of the beginners I'm thinking about y'all. I don't want y'all to be left in the dust, not understanding. Understand it could still be confusing, but obviously if you have any questions, you can always DM me on my Instagram. You know, if you're in my Discord server, fucking at me. You know, I'll talk to you. And yeah, so obviously a great session. Another thing you can learn, like, there was a lot of trades that, like, I went over that are pattern trades and are low probability trades that, though some of them did play out, a lot of them didn't. And it's something you could also learn for. If anything, that's more important. Learning about the setups not to take rather than the setups to take. I find that when I was a beginner and when I was just starting out, I was having a hard time identifying what a low probability or what a pattern trade was, right? So you can kind of use this to your advantage and, you know, watch this video before taking any trades next week to kind of see how you can approach the market. So that was this live backtesting session. I hope you guys liked it. And yeah, have a good one, boys. Good luck.